So continuation of file handling, text file. In this session, we are going to see about the with statement, which is the alternate way of opening a file. So the syntax is with open of as file object, colon, the continuation of the file manipulation statements. So let's see an example. In the example, with open of test.txt is the text file we are opening in write mode W, as F is the file object or file handle, colon, then inside the file segment we write f.write of Python \n, f.write of is an easy \n, f.write of language, and then we close the file object. So here what happens is Python is written in one line, \n tells there is a new line, so the next line which is written will be written in the new line. Is an easy, again we have mentioned \n, so the language which is the write statement will be written as a new line inside the file. So when we execute this particular script, what happens is a file with test.txt is created and Python is an easy language, that is the output that is displayed or written inside the file. Relative path and absolute paths. So in file is usually organized into directories, or we call these directories as folders. Okay, so whenever we want to locate some file inside Python, when we are working with Python, the default path is this: C: users, whatever username you're working with, app data, local, program, Python 3632. Okay, this is the path, this is the parent or this is the root path where your file will exist by default. Okay, so if we want to know which is the current working directory, that is CWD, in where our file is stored, then we have to import a module called OS. OS stands for operating system. So we import this OS and then work with the script to get the current working directory. So here import OS CWD equal to os.getCWD of, and we print that CWD to check what is the path. So when we execute this script, we get this as the default directory. So this is the current working directory for this particular script. Let's see an example for relative path. So relative path, as we saw, it speaks about the current working directory. So here E: is the root or the topmost folder. Under E: we have project, sales and accounts folder. Under project we have project 1 and project 2, and project 1 has main program and report program. Project 2 has 1.cpp and 2.cpp. Okay, so now we assume that the program is executed when it is in project 2. We take it as the folder project 2 is the current working directory. Okay, now when we try to access 2.cpp, what do we do? /2.cpp. That is, we assume that it is in the CWD. CWD is assumed to be this E:. So in E drive, project 2 is executed, within which 2.cpp is to be accessed. So we take it as /2cpp, 2.cpp. Now we take it as project 2 is the current working directory. So when we try to access report.prg, it's // because we are moving to the other folder. So // project1 / report.prg. This is how we access report.prg from the current directory project 2. Now for absolute path, let's consider the same example but the accounts division. Okay, so in the accounts division under E colon, we see that we under accounts we have cash.act as well as bank.act folders, and here we have one more folder, history, under which we have once again cash.act and bank.act. So when we try to access the cash.act under accounts, we have to specify E colon accounts cash.act, and when we try to access the cash.act under history, then we have to specify E colon accounts history cash.act. Fine. So here we have to mention the full path since we have the same file under two different directories. So here we use the absolute path, where absolute path will tell the whole path, but when we consider the relative path, it will consider only the current folder on which we are working, and from there it accesses the file. So now steps to process a file. So what are the steps do we follow? As we have seen through all these sessions till now in file handling, we determine the type of usage. That is, whenever we open the file, we give a mode, right? Whether it is read or write or append. And the second step is we open the file and assign its reference to a file object or a file handle. That is creating a file handle or a file object. Then now process as required, whatever process we want to do, whether we are going to check what are the upper cases there or counting the lines, any type of process inside the text file, and then at last we have to close the file before we come out of the program. Standard file streams. So when we are handling file, rather than writing the data inside the file and reading the data from the file, we can also read it directly from the keyboard. So we use the standard file stream here, standard input stream, standard output stream, and standard error stream. Whenever there is an error, it can be stored inside a file. So for standard input stream, we use stdin. For standard output stream, we use stdout. For standard error stream, we use stderr. So for this, the module to be imported is sys. So import sys is the first line to be used, and afterwards we use the relevant operations. So let's see an example for stdin. How to use stdin. So here, instead of opening the file by mentioning the file name directly inside the code, that is, instead of hard coding, what we do is we tell that at the time of opening the file name will be provided by the keyboard. Here stdin tells that the data is provided from the input device itself. So if file name not equal to null, in stream equal to open of file name, else in stream equal to sys.stdin. Okay, and if it is stdout or stdr, we give like this. So the first statement will be import sys, and afterwards we use all these operations. Sys.stdout.write of welcome. So this welcome will be written inside the first file which we open. Sys.stdr.write of analysis complete. So this particular line is written when there is some error occurring on some condition basis. Okay, so when such error occurs, this statement will be written inside the file too. This is how stdout and stdr works. And stdout and stdr is used when we want to display the written data inside the file to be displayed on the monitor. So for file handling, we have a flowchart symbol to store the data inside the file. So this is the symbol which we see on the board now. Okay, so let's see a sample Python code. Here we are getting the name and the age as the input, and f is the file object, which is equal to open of user underscore details.txt is the notepad file. We open it as in append mode. Okay, so f dot write of name, f dot write of age, f dot write of age, and we close the file. So how to represent this in a flowchart, that's what we are going to see now. So this is the flow chart. Start, input name, input age, then for the write operation what we do here, write name, write age, save name comma age inside the file symbol, and then the execution is stopped. This is how the file operation is represented in a flow chart.